I met the Lord in a suicide attempt in 1973 outside of Buffalo, New York, in the little village of Williamsville. I was going to drive my wonderful little knife that I used to hitchhike cross country after the war in 1970. I'm a former Marine, a two-tour Marine in Vietnam, and I didn't get killed, and I kept not being killed in car accidents and people wanting to shoot me and run after me. People, I hate to fight, and when I had to fight, I didn't lose, but I just, and then you realize I guess the term is you come to the end of yourself. Well, my end was on a suicide bed. And right as my hand was coming down to plunge this knife into my heart, I held it, like this. Really nice knife. God talked to me, kind of like a command, like a shouting command, almost like a drill instructor, but better. It shocked me. I missed. I glanced the hilt of the knife on my right, big part of my thumb, and I was naked on a, and I was, you're crazy. You want to kill yourself? Yeah, you're crazy. But, you don't know, like I didn't know that I had been cursed by Buddhist monks. All us guys get cursed. 3 curses: suicide / early death, divorce, and just no peace. You just got to keep moving. And I didn't know spiritual stuff. I grew up a Catholic. I went to Mass. Then I realized, I started lying to my mother. I didn't want to go to Mass anymore. And for 10 years, I just didn't go. Do I believe in God? Did I believe in God as a little boy? I did. I used to pray. I was a Catholic kid, went to schools. But, fast forward 20 years, and we won't go into my family life. That's for some other time. I've written about it a little bit, and I did a video about something I wrote about that. But all I know is that God is a spirit. He manifested himself. He's Father. He manifested himself into a human body, into flesh. Yeah, like in a baby that got born out of a woman who was a virgin. And then, if you know the gospel story, great. If you don't, I'm not going to do it right now. Just that Jesus died on the cross for you and for me, for the sin and the nature of who we are. You can't help but sin unless you get born again. And I remember Woodstock, and I almost went because I was on leave, my 44-day leave between 2 tours. I was on Cape Cod, and I walked into the situation, and my friend said, "Hey, we got tickets for it, so let's go." And I didn't want to go. I was called the hippie sergeant of 11th Motors, but that's another story. All I know is that God's alive, and he loved me enough to save me from killing myself. I tried to drive cars into walls and trees and just you name it. It's not like, and it's you can go on in life thinking, well, isn't everybody like this? Well, apparently a lot of people are like that. But especially today in mass media, you don't hear what's going on. There's the narratives. Well, pray to God. If you're real, Lord, I want you. I don't even know why I want you, except I know that I need you. The world's crazy, and I'm just as crazy as the world. And there's only one way out. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ. Yeah. Maybe you've been to church, maybe you haven't. You're talking to a former Catholic that was born again in a rabid kind of a Pentecostal church in '73. And a lot of people said, these people are really insane. Well, when you realize God's alive and he fills you and he starts moving through you and he starts talking through you and all these gifts of the Spirit start moving, and you've never had a study on the gifts of the Spirit, you're just open and God uses you. And a lot of people got saved, just like me. He talked to me audibly. Oh, doesn't he? Well, he does that a lot. Read the Bible. He talks audibly to a lot of people in the Bible. I didn't know that. And does he talk to me audibly? Oh, no, he doesn't. He talks to me in my heart. You know, he gives me words in my head. I see it. I feel it. I know it. I know he gives me things to say. I say what he tells me to say, and people get saved. Either in the continuing salvation as they walk in their walk with God, or an initial meeting with God. See, David, see that woman over there, David? Go over there and just whisper in her ear. I don't even know who the woman is, and there's people all around, and she's a little bit older than me, and, you know, I'm only 74. My name's Young. I'll always be young. That's just, you know, I didn't know about the power of the tongue. My whole life I've been saying, you're David Henry James Young. You're going to be young till the day he takes you, you know. Well, everybody doesn't believe I'm 74 because I feel like I'm about 24. There was a time when I felt real old and real bad. Well, when he got a hold, and listen, I've had ups and downs since that time in 73. Don't get me wrong. I've been divorced. My daughter's in heaven. You know, she boom died in a car accident. You know, you just, and when you realize that God's alive, and he has a plan for you individually and a plan for countries and towns. And, you know, he really does want to be in control. You know, the MCP of the Tron movie, when I first saw the Tron, you know, Master Control Program. Well, you know, that's just the devil has ways of, he would just love to be God, but he can't be God because he's not God. He's called the God of this world, the world that's in entropy. It's dying. Every day there's less. Scientists know this. There's going to be a new heavens and a new earth one day. And he's going to populate it with you and me if you believe in Jesus and give your life to him. And start your walk. And, you know, let's be honest. Sometimes it's not fun. It's real hard. You got to die to your old nature. That is not easy. You know? Jesus Christ died on a cross in Jerusalem nearly 2,000 years ago, as far as some calendars, maybe a little bit longer, depending on what calendar you look at. He lasted 3 hours after being beat to a pulp. It says in the Bible, in the 50s of Isaiah, his visage was marred more than any man. And I've seen some people beat up pretty bad. Well, he was worse. He didn't even look human. So don't go with the little paintings that you see in people's walls. It was horrific. Why? Well, you ever feel bad when you do something wrong? Your conscience starts to get at you. Yeah, maybe you killed somebody inadvertently. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you lied to your mother. Maybe you went out on your wife. Whatever it was. Maybe you screwed yourself somehow and you felt bad. That's sin. You should feel bad. That's what sin does. It brings death. And until you get, quote unquote, born again, a new spirit in you, your breath becomes, one with God's breath. God is a spirit. That's what Jesus said. The Father is looking for worshipers who will worship him in spirit and in truth. If you look up the word worship, it means bowing down, getting prostrate, just literally giving yourself over in a moment to God. That's real worship. So, there is praise. That's singing songs and giving your heart to it. When you come into the stream, the raging river of God's love. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful things written about him. But until you come in, you're lost. You're lost. And people don't, in this day and age, I know people very close to me at one time, they're atheists, they don't believe in God. Now that's, they say a real atheist has a whole lot more faith than I do, who believe in God and believe in, he made everything and, read the Bible. If you're an atheist, and you really are, that's a whole lot of faith to just disbelieve everything you see. That it just kind of, popped into existence. And so I was going to start off with reading poems and tell you about my story. And, give yourself to Jesus Christ. And that's the real story. His story with you. His story. Where do you think the word history came from? Just put another S in this. It's his story with you. Whether you know it right now or not. I don't know where this video is going to go. I sure hope it gets to you, meaning, you. I am not a techie, okay? I'm old school. I'm just learning how to do this stuff. But I'm old in the sense of, I know God's alive. He's real. He's coming back again. He really, really is. And a whole lot of people know it. Scientists know it. I've been to Israel. The stuff is real. Is real. ISRA, is real. Israel is real. You can't make this stuff up. A lot of people try to make it up, or they say it's made up. It ain't made up. The Bible is the most substantiated piece of literature in the history of literature. It's the most, sold or given out literature in the history of literature. I don't care what country you're from. There are still pockets of people on the planet that have never heard anything about this, because he hasn't come back yet. See, he said, until the gospel is preached to the whole world, to every tribe, to every tongue. Okay? I don't go around detailing how many people groups and peoples and tongues that is. But apparently they're still there waiting, because he hasn't come back yet. And when he comes back, everybody's going to see him. We have technology now to track it like like all the movies about things that are coming down from outer space. I got a million. I think I've seen. I grew up with it. Okay, I remember Red Skelton, the Little Rascals, and not the singing group. Remember them too. I met a whole bunch of people in my life. I'm nobody from Nobodiesville. I met Golda Meir once at her house, and I wasn't invited. And that's a good story too. The point I'm making is, there's a lot to what you don't see. God is moving, and he's coming to you. He wants to get a hold of you. Open up your heart to Jesus Christ. Yeshua, if you're Jewish. Just ask him, Lord, if you're real, I really want to know you. Really. Especially if you're like me on a suicide bed, because he talked to me audibly. David, no! I'm all alone. I burst into tears, but I want to die. And that, the voice. I've written a whole bunch of stuff called The Voice, because I've been hearing voices all my life. And 99 out of 100 times I hear it, it's saving me from one disaster after another. Car wrecks, people chasing me, wanting to shoot me, throw grenades at me, wanting to rape me. I used to think I'm very uncommon and very not normal. And then the longer I'm living and the more I find out, I'm very normal. I just stopped deceiving myself. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you. Come away from your own self-deception. Cry out to God now, right now. Ask Jesus Christ to come into your heart and start walking in reality. Okay, I'll see you later. I love you, and he's coming again soon. And when you get activated, that's another term. When he comes and hits you with his spirit, it might be like the dog that gets the beautiful bone and he goes up in the air and comes back down to the kitchen floor. Or you might weep, and who knows, it's your relationship with him. He wants to start one. There's no pro forma, okay? You can't open up a book except the Bible or have somebody help you. I'm not talking about doctrine. I'm talking about a relationship with the Maker who made you. He made me, he made you, he made everybody you know. And yeah, there's all kinds of problems. But get over that and get one with him. Just ask him into your life. You see? Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.